But would you prefer a guy to just go for the first kiss, assuming you want him to kiss you, right? Would you prefer the guy to just go for the first kiss, or versus if he were to verbalize it and he were to say something like, "Can I kiss you?"
Oh, I hate that.
I love that.
I think it's cringy.
Cringy? What about you? What do you prefer?
I like it, but depends on if I want them or not.
It's honestly both for me, because like I like when someone asks me, just like if it's unclear, but if we like obviously like have a connection, or say it's like my boyfriend, I want it like forcibly.
Same thing. I agree with her completely.
So you prefer what?
I prefer him making the move. Unless...
But what if he's a bit shy and nervous and he wants to ask for permission?
That's fine.
I feel like my action, that's
You
fine.
would be,
but
you would prefer
I feel like my actions would kind of
if
show...
he was confident and not in a vulnerable state.
No.
I mean, you had a very visceral reaction to that. You said, "Oh, not at all." I would very much dislike that.
I mean, it can be quite sweet asking for consent. You know, you never want to just go and kiss someone without knowing the vibes. But if you clearly know that, like, you're getting a connection going, and you're like, oh, a kiss is gonna happen. If he asks then to kiss, it just throws off the mood. Like,
There's a way you can do it, right?
Yeah, just pick up the vibe and just go for it, like,
or make it awkward.
Okay,
Make it awkward.
all right.
yeah. And then I'm just like, oh, like
Have you ever met a
you kiss me.
woman that you learned was turned off because a guy asked a question like that? Because I haven't.
We've asked this question a couple times on the show, and it's sometimes mixed responses, but a lot of women will have a visceral sort of reaction to like, "Ooh, don't ask me for, like, just kiss me," and they'll say that.
Do you think it's safe for men to be doing that?
No.
To what?
To kiss a woman that they feel it's like the natural time for that to happen.
What are you trying to say?
No,
safe for men.
Because you were saying earlier that like a dangerous thing is like if men are falsely accused of something,
Sure.
right? It's easy for body language behaviors to be misinterpreted sometimes.
Yeah.
So would you ever say it's like safe or recommend to men that like if you feel the moment's right, yeah, go for it? Or would you say that that's not maybe wise to do?
Well, I mean, I think there's a certain degree of social calibration. Like you can, if you're socially attuned, I think you can have a fairly accurate sense of this if the person sitting across from you is, interested.
I've been on the receiving end of somebody who leaned in to kiss me and I leaned straight back.
But do you think
they did not make that calculation correct?
Sure, and I do think we ought to give men some leeway to, obviously, if you've leaned back, that's the end of it, 100%. But I mean, isn't it just sort of the normal? To me, it occurs to me that that's sort of the normal. A normal occurrence for a guy to make a move, and if the girl no, and then it can end there, I guess. Do you think it would be wrong for a guy to, if you guys are maybe he thinks that you guys are on a romantic date, perhaps you're not ready for a first kiss, do you think it would be wrong for him to lean in for the kiss?
No.
Because I mean, to me,
the mistake would not be doing it. I think the mistake would not be responding to the lack of like reciprocation or enthusiasm properly, like you're saying. So, and I agree with you, most consent is negotiated.
Oh yeah, if the girl leans back, like, okay,
through body language.
She's not interested, of course. But I mean, it's hard because in this social climate, it actually might be the move to have men like, actually have that sort of just verbalize.
Do you think it's ever appropriate
steps.
for a woman to physically distance herself from a man when he does that at an inappropriate time?
Sorry, what's the question?
Like, in good faith, a guy leans in because he believes the right moment for a first kiss has come, not knowing, completely oblivious to the fact that the woman is not on the same page, and she feels unsafe and, like, threatened by him doing that, because all of a sudden it feels like this kind of, like, forcible physical encounter. Sure. Do you think it's reasonable for a woman to physically resist that, just on instinct, effectively?
Is it right?
Or is it reasonable?
If she doesn't want to kiss them, then absolutely
not just lean
she
back,
should.
like, almost, like, slap the guy.
Oh, well, I think if a guy he's not being aggressive with it, but he does a lean in, I don't think a slap is warranted. I think I think just
maybe
like
not today.
I mean, I can't.
Like, I'll just say this. If I misread signals between us and we were alone in a room and I tried to kiss you and you weren't ready for that, if you physically pushed me or tried to get away from me, I wouldn't think that it was inappropriate on your part to do that.
I think
I would understand.
Well, certainly, like if the person's going in for a kiss, I think probably actually most people's almost instinct, if they don't want to kiss, would be to do a
So lean back.
Yeah.
I think you said a
Not like
slap.
a
I don't know if that's appropriate, but I mean, I think most people's
Solo
instinct.
one.
I would assume most people's instinct, if they don't want to be kissed, is
move.
perhaps like a hand out and maybe a lean back. I
I
don't
hope
have
I'm
an
not
issue
referencing something too niche. I feel like we've all seen like a romantic comedy where the guy like goes in for it and the woman's
Oh,
like, "What the
okay,
fuck are you
well, yeah.
doing?" and like basically
happen.
slaps him. It happens to
Oh.
like when the guy thinks he's out of the
it's,
friend zone, stuff like
weirdly
that.
Forceful, like extremely forceful, but
This feels like a black and white movie or something with the really I don't know. Anyways,
How dare you, sir?
Yeah,
how
exactly.
dare you? Okay, here.